There are 5 things that I believe the Pixel 5 has to have in order to justify why you should buy it versus the 4a. What's up everybody, this is Scott. Welcome back to another video. I'm excited about this video. This is Techtober or Techtember or Techtembertober, whatever you want to call it. A ton of different tech companies, Apple and Google and Samsung and LG and OnePlus and you name it, have all been coming out with new devices over the past several number of weeks and obviously for the next couple of months coming through. The thing I'm most excited about is actually the Pixel 5. It's because of how much I love the 4a, which is why I'm really excited about the 5. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a long time, I am a giant Google fan. I love the Pixels. I still believe that they are portrait king when it comes to shooting stills, especially with the portrait mode. And honestly, I think they have the best overall still camera, but there are some things that lack, like the video specifically, and that leads me to my very first point of why I think the Pixel 5 has to do some of these things in order to increase the quality of the video. Everybody always knocks the Pixel series for not being able to shoot 4K 60 frames a second. I think without question, you're going to have in the Pixel 5 4K 60 frames a second. You may not necessarily use it all the time. I'm not necessarily one that uses it all the time. I shoot, this is 4K 24 frames a second, but pretty much every flagship has it, so you pretty much have to offer that. So in terms of the video department, I believe you have to have a 4K 60, no question at all. I think you need to make increases in that video quality as well. In the 4a, we saw that the audio when recording a video got significantly better. It can't get any worse than that, and honestly, it has to take a step up from there, and I thought it was pretty darn good to even begin with in the 4a. So that's the number one thing I think the Pixel 5 has to do, is actually increase the quality of the video even more so than it did in the 4a. The second thing that I think it has to do, the 4a did not have wireless charging. I think the Pixel 5 is going to have wireless charging. Even though the 4a was actually quite quick when it came to charging just by the cord, I think having the ability to have wireless charging in the Pixel 5 is something that you're going to have in order to, again, justify getting the 5 versus the 4a. The third thing I think the Pixel 5 has to have is still the ability to have incredible battery life while enabling things like 5G. So the Pixel 5, as Google has stated already, is going to be 5G. The 4a is a battery sipper, which means it is incredible on the battery life, sometimes better than really expensive Samsung phones. So the idea that the Pixel 5 is also going to need to be a battery sipper while also getting the ability to enable things like 5G is going to be very important as well. That's one of the things I think the Pixel 5 is going to have. Fourth thing I think you're going to have is the dual cameras on the back. I think the dual camera on the back in the Pixel 5 definitely has to be there, but again, can't go back to the telephoto lens that you saw on the Pixel 4. I think people are expecting to get that wider shot, so if you have a second lens on the back of the 5, I think you're going to have to see it actually come out as a wider or ultra wide or some sort of wide view on the back of that lens in order to really make everybody happy. I didn't have a problem with the telephoto. I was fine with it, but I see exactly why people were really upset about it in the Pixel 4 line. And number 5 is kind of a combination of a few things. I talked about the 5G enablement and things like that, but I think the screen itself, the actual screen has to be one, brighter, and then probably introduce something like a 90 hertz or 120 hertz refresh rate. Refresh rate seems to be all the rage. People want that smooth scrolling experience when they're using their phones. I think the Pixel 5 is probably going to have something like that, again, to justify buying it versus the 4a. I bring all of these things up because I truly believe the 4a is such a great value at $350. I think the Pixel 5, kind of the bonus, what's the other thing the Pixel 5 is going to have to do, is maintain some sort of price that's less than a lot of other flagships. This is not a device that you should have to pay somewhere in the vicinity of $900 for. I really think if you want to talk about it being a slam dunk home run, it's somewhere between $650 and $750 is really like that good watermark that I think if it included everything you saw in the 4A and then the 5 things that I just talked about in this video, if you could get all of those things in one package for somewhere between $650 and $750, whoo boy, that is a pretty darn good price for a 5G enabled phone that shoots 4K 60 with a nice refresh rate on a screen that sips the battery and gives you arguably the best photography that you see out of any smartphone out there, especially for the value. If you can maintain that low price point while giving all of these things, it's gonna give a lot of phones its run for the money. And that is probably why I'm really excited about what we're seeing come out in terms of rumors on the Pixel 5 right now. So yeah, leave a comment below if you're waiting to get the 5 or if you've picked up the 4A and now you're going, maybe I'll pick up that 5 too. Which, by the way, would still be roughly half the cost of a Fold 2. Call out to this video where everybody yelled at me for it. So that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time.